Alright, just to make things easy, I put everything subjects, tools, I put everything in the description at what time I explain it. And if you can, if you're new to Maya, I'd watch the whole thing because you can learn a lot in this whole video because basically everything short down to as fast as possible. So anything else, let me know in the comments. Other than that, later. Okay, this tutorial's for the average person who just picked up Maya from the Autodesk website and they just want to get going, but they have no clue what's going on. I'm going to go through a lot of things, all of these mostly, and it's going to keep going down the line, and by the time you're done with this video, you should know quite a lot, and up to then, it's just all about what you can do. So, right away, we're going to start with the layout. Everything under the modeling tool or under the modeling layout, there is about, who knows how many that you can customize them, but there are a couple different options like rigging. They're going to give you different layouts. Animation is going to give you different layouts, and rendering. If you ever wanted to render, you can't render in the modeling layout, so you have to go to render, and then go to render, and then blah blah, etc. And well, I just want to do something real quick. Just do that. So yeah, that's the layout. These at the top right, you're going to use these every single time. So just make sure you have a tribute editor, channel box, and modeling toolkit. The modeling toolkit, I believe this is channel box. Oh, that's tribute, and then that's channel. Easy. Alright, and then alright, so we're gonna go through the tribute editor. I have a box, normal box, and this box in the attribute editor, we can edit every one of its attributes. So if you need to be exact, add divisions, and basically everything you need to do or that you want to do, including shaders. And even if you do things like an extrude, even though it's a really bad extrude, you should never do that. You can, in the attribute editor, it will come up. It's almost like a history type of thing. So if you ever want to go back and see, hey, what did I do with this extrude? It's gonna take you a long time because you gotta, go. I'll just do something real quick here. But add divisions. Say if I was doing this, and I want to go back and say like, oh, I need to go see what I did there. You can scroll this arrow, and here there. So this is extrude 1. That's that one. That's this one. There's that one, and you kind of get it. Oops, saved it. Okay, so that's that. And then now we're gonna do the plugins. Everyone complains, oh, I don't have the mental ray plugin. Oh my gosh, what do I do? Alright, two things. I didn't come with mine, so you can't see mine. So that's what you do is go on the Autodesk website, customer service. It's called the mental ray standalone license. But you're gonna download that, and to get it, you're gonna go to settings. Under doesn't matter. So go to setting or Windows, settings, preferences, and go to plugin manager. This is where every plugin, I don't know why Mental Ray or Maya decides to turn off these important renderers, but they do, and this is how it is. I believe this is Mental Ray. Yeah, Mental Ray. So that's Mental Ray. Okay. So that's Mental Ray, always auto load, and basically everything you see here. I mean, you can click load and everything, but I mean, some of these things you don't need. DX11, direct connect, blah blah blah, and the modeling toolkit's somewhere in here. I forgot. There it is. Make sure that if you don't have modeling toolkit enabled, it'll like denote if it's enabled. You won't be able to do anything in the thing. So just that's when you know. So that's all good. And now if we go to renderer. We can use Mental Ray, but I highly suggest RenderMan because it's basically industry standard for Pixar and for most studios industry-wise. Alright, so now I covered Mental Ray, and we're going to do some interactive polygons. When you first load up Maya, it automatically, I'll I'll do mine. I'll put mine as the what yours probably is. So right when I load up Maya, you click on the polygons and you go to make a box and you're like, what is this? I want to draw it out. What you do is first I delete that, and then you go to create polygons and always have this interactive creation. Interactive creation allows you to click on the thing and drag out the size you want, width, height, etc. So that's interactive. You can do that with you can do that with almost quite a different amount of geometry or polygons or meshes, whatever. But that's that. So now we're going to do the extruding and stuff. Now this is where a lot of people don't understand that, you know, your mesh is basically built on extrudes, bridges, and connecting vertices and edges, and it's all about Maya. I always tell people Maya is basically, when you're tackling a project, it's always how you first start it. Anyone can start it with any of these amounts of polygons, but it's about what, you know, because you're going to have a lot of problems going through all these types of things. But I mean, it's all about how you handle them and what tools you use, because some tools will screw you on later because you'll be like, oh, why can't I use this extrude because, you know, I messed up with the vertices, blah blah blah, now it's a black face, and those are really annoying, but they're sometimes easy to fix. Alright, so I have a box. I wanna trying to think of something to do here. Oh, I'll do this. Alright, I want to make a window. This is a really big window, and I want to make a window. That'll be the wall. I'm not gonna make it that big of a window. Make sure to use all the F is the focus. So if you ever like see like you're starting to slow down around the wire, just click the F and it'll zoom right in, and you won't have any slowness in the rotation. So this is the window. I want to add some extrudes. I want to make it all nice and fancy and look good. Really big window. Let me scale it down. Hotkeys for to do this and move this all around is W. R is to scale things down. E is to rotate. And channel box, if you ever need to like duplicate one and be like, oh crap, I need that, and I need that, you know, turn the other way, go to channel box, rotate one of them. You see right there, it changes. So I want it to be -90. Oops, -90. There you go. Easy. And if you ever have one of these things where, I'm kind of getting off topic, but I mean, you're gonna need this anyway. If you ever have something like this, where the pivot point is not in the center, and it's causing you to do stuff like that, which you don't want, go to modify and center pivot. Easy. I'm going fast because I mean, some of the stuff it's you don't need to memorize it. It's like programmed after you see it once. So say if I want to make a window, first I'm going to extrude, which is I'm under the modeling toolkit. I select the face by holding right click and dragging down, and if you don't know how to do that, just click one of these. That's vertice, edge, face. So this is the face. Again, right click and just drag down, and then I'm going to click extrude. I'm going to hit R to scale down the face, and then I'm gonna, since I can't bring it back because I need this face right here to stand still, so I need to make another extrude, and this extrude is gonna allow me to push it back and do that. Really basic window. This is really easy. It's all about extrudes, and if I really wanted to, you can do this, and I'll show you one more thing. So since I have this, I want like a frame in there, like a square thing. So what I'm going to do is, see, there's a couple ways you can tackle this. I'm going to do, where is the tool? Alright, multi-cut tool. This is a really good tool when it comes to making lines like this. Like, say if you need a line right here, you don't know how the heck you're going to do it. Just click multi-cut, hit Control, so it's only on the axis that you're looking at, and then click Shift. Shift is right below it. It says multi-cut options. The snap step, every this is 100% right here. This line right here is at 100%, and if I want to take 10% of each, if I want to take 100 and divide it by 10, these are the lines it's gonna come up with. So each of these are 10. Say if I want to be 20, because this is 20. It does all of it. Okay, I'm just gonna cut these down into videos of 10 minutes. So as I was saying before I got really interrupted by my recording software, I want to I actually was already talking about that. So this does divisions of 10. If I want to do divisions of 50, if I want to be dead straight half, that's what I would do. So for this, I would do 5, and I Control Shift, and I just get each of those sides. And if I want to do the other way, I just go the other axis, not the other axis, but the other direction it's going. And to do that, Control, that's free. And then if you want to lock, then you go to multi-cut options underneath all the tools, and you set the snap set. And to do that, and I'm just going to delete these edges, extra edges. I don't need these. They're all doing the same thing. So to do that, delete it. Now it's all one piece instead of a bunch of little pieces, Reese's Pieces. Wait, delete that again. Okay. I'll teach you that later, actually. Okay, so that's one piece, and I want to extrude that because I want to, and there's my frame for my window. Great. Cool. That's how you do the window with multi-edge or multi-cut and extrudes. Bridges. So bridges are good. Bridges only work with faces. So say if I wanted to do, here, we'll just do this. Alright, this is getting annoying. I'm going to delete this. Alright, to duplicate, you click D, Control D. So say if I wanted these, if you ever want two different objects to be one, go under the modeling tool, click combine. Now they're one. You can use their faces. If I ever want to use, usually it has to be two faces. You can't bridge an edge. You just can't do that. So if I ever want to bridge these two faces, doesn't matter how far apart they are, you click bridge, does it for you. You mess with the divisions, get the type you want. Ew. Alright, ew. Whoa. Okay, and then curve, you can make it a curve, you can make it a linear, which is just straight, I'll show you. If you ever want to separate them again, I believe you just click separate. No, I think once you bridge them, I think that's it. Linear is a linear bridge is just straight. There's no bends, no nothing. It's just straight. And then, so say if I wanted to, I'm going to teach about blends or Booleans or whatever, however you pronounce them. I want a huge hole right in the middle, but there's no way I'm going to take the time and make a hole out of multi-cut edges. That's just not going to happen. I'm too lazy. So I'm going to take the hole. I want the hole to be that big. And at least if you're going to make a hole into it, make sure it's going out through both sides. Or say if you just want it to come in from just that side, that's fine. It's whatever. So take that, and you're gonna go to Mesh, Booleans, and Difference. And wow, that made life a lot easier. So that's just literally just gonna cut a hole, almost like cookie cutters. It's gonna cookie cutter right through that thing, and you're gonna take out the cookie. And yeah, that's that. There's different types of Booleans. Right now, if I were to go inside this mesh, you see that the mesh is still inside of it. There is a Boolean where it takes this and it literally does a bunch of vertices and it makes it one, but it also gets rid of extra faces that are in the inside. I'll show you just a second. So Booleans, and it's called union. It brings two things together. And now you can see that it's one face. It's not going anywhere. And you can also see there's no extra faces in the inside, and there's holes now inside the shape. I'll open it up. To do this, while I'm right here, hold tab and you're good. Hold tab and left click, and then you can see there's holes. And then if you want to take, this is really risky, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, I never used this one, but Boolean, if you want to take whatever the inside, I want that, I don't want this, I don't want that, I want just the thing that's connecting the two. Go to Boolean, and intersection, you're going to get the thing that was in the middle, and there you go. Easy. Alright, moving on to lighting. Lighting's really basic. I think the only trouble is finding to get light, create lights, and there's lots of different lights. I mean, ambience, directional, point. They're all pretty they're all pretty self-explanatory. I use RenderMan, so I need to use those lights. I can't use. The thing is, people don't understand that you can't use a mental ray, texture, and use RenderMan. It's just you have to use whatever texture or whatever shader or texture you're using. You have to use a material from that render, because it's not going to recognize it in another render. So that's why my 8-year-old self, when I was doing this stuff, I used to use mental ray material, and I always wondered why it came out black in the renderer when I used the default, because they just don't work. It's like X and Z. They're not together. So cameras and lighting's easy, done. Animating in my I want this ball to move on that side in 50 frames. So you're gonna, well, you could just go to animation and was set key, set key. Where's the auto? Oh, auto key. Make sure this thing at the bottom, auto keyframe, it's gonna make your life a lot easier. Trust me. Alright, so say if I want, I need a starting point for the ball. Like I need to have it at a certain spot when it starts, and you always have to remember to keyframe that, because if I just move it over here and I drag the frame and I hit S, it's gonna start there. And S is to make a keyframe. So I need to hit, before I do anything, I'm gonna hit S, because that's where I want to start. Unless you don't want to start there, start somewhere else. I want this to go across over there. Now it's not set in stone. This is a completely different place. What the heck? Well, this is a completely different place because just because I moved it, I didn't set the keyframe yet. So it's, when I play it, it's probably going to go back. So say I want it to be 30 frames in. And I don't know why, but that was weird. But so I want it to be there, and I want to, I don't know why, but it just didn't do it. So hit S, and now it should go. Yep. So S is to set a keyframe. S is basically saying, I want you, when you click S, this little marker saying, I want you to be here, to be in this spot when it's 30 frames. So it's going to do a bunch of computing, it's going to move the object to the other side of the grid. It's going to do all that stuff for you. Just make sure, I saw there was a little something right here, but you hit 30, you hit S, and then kind of almost like you have to go backwards. I don't know, it's weird, but all you need to know is set a keyframe with S. Make sure you have auto keyframe, because you can try without it. You'll see how it's a little weird. Takes some getting used to. But yeah, that's that. Okay. If you ever want to make your timeline bigger, this is your max timeline. Say you want to be 500, and you know it's still at will say it was at 200. It's still at 200. Why isn't it like I can't go any past it? Or if it like goes off the screen, you have to scroll to this button. This is like a timeline or something, and there's your 500 frames. Okay, play, fast forward, all that stuff. And these are where your effects tabs are. If you ever need to get into clothing, hair, or fluids, particles. Particles, I hate them. Okay, so assigning textures. I want this ball to be brick texture. No, I want this I want this box texture to have a I want it to have a brick texture. So the user interface doesn't really help at all where the hell we find, textures and how we apply them. So you want to right click, go down to assign new material, and it's gonna come up with this. This is us saying you can't use a mental ray if you're gonna use the Maya standard. You can't. I mean, you can do Maya standard and use mental ray, but I mean, it's pushing it. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If I wanted to use RenderMan, I can't use a mental ray. I can't use any of these. I have to use these, or I have to use these. So as I was saying, blend is something that's shiny. A blend is reflective. It's like plastic. It shines. Lambert is like matte. So if you don't want it to, if you don't want it to shine, or you want no reflections, Lambert. Bong. It looks it looks really glossy, like almost like plastic. Blend is more like if you shine wood on your keyboard, or if you shine a light on your keyboard, you get that little reflection. That's a blend. So basically, when you're using textures, you're only going to use blend, or you're only going to use Lambert. Since it's brick, it's not going to be reflective. So I assign a new material. You're going to go to the attribute editor, and it's going to be under Lambert, whatever you named it. Make sure you always name these textures, because when it comes to like millions of textures, or not millions, but hundreds of textures in this thing, you have to know. You can't like, Lambert 2, which one's that one? You don't know. You just name them, brick underscore 001, because you're gonna have a billion textures. And make sure you always name, your cubes, wall underscore. I mean, it's not that hard to name. It looks good especially when you're doing all this stuff, because it's really important to know what you're doing and stay organized. So as I was saying, the brick texture, I want to, why isn't it this, where do I upload my texture? How do I import my texture? It's this bitmap under here. Since it's a color, you want the color of your picture to be the color of the brick wall. So you're going to put color, let that load, and if you, depending on what it is, I don't know what you're going for, but what I'm using is a file I got off the internet. So I'm going to click File, and image name, click the folder, see if I can find this file. There it is. I did not make that photo, don't quote me. Okay, well, this should work either way. Alright, cool. Which one is to show textures? Is it 5? 5, 4, 5, 6. There it is, 6. 6 is to show textures, 5 is to show shaded, 4 is to show wireframe. 3 is to show the smooth, when smooth. 1 to go back to its standard form. Okay, so that's texture. If you ever want to go back and adjust some things, you just go back to your attributes, color, and you can mess with some things. If you want to add a bump, where was it? No. It's right here. Okay. Oh, it's right underneath. So it's right underneath color, bump map. Go into Photoshop, do all those bump map stuff, black and gray, import them, and you can control the bump map's intensity once you get the file in there. And that's pretty straightforward. I'm looking at things I might have skipped. Oh, if you're ever using RenderMan and you're getting a grainy render, I'll show you. RenderMan's a great render. I highly suggest it to anybody who wants to make their stuff look good. I mean, who doesn't? So, go to render using, make sure it's RenderMan RIS. Test resolution, definitely don't want it to be 100, so let's do 50. What's cool about RenderMan, if you click this button right here, it does a real-time render, which is really nice, especially when you're trying to focus on lighting. So here's what it's doing right now. It's doing its thing, and if you're getting like a grainy, like shadows and like weird white dots, you go to RenderMan, you go to your render settings, and it's down under sampling, denoise, and make sure it's on cross frame or frame. Just do not leave that thing off because it's literally gonna look terrible. And let's see, it's gonna take a lot longer to, not a lot longer, but it's gonna take a little bit longer than the average, you know, before. But I mean, it's a lot better than having white dots randomly around your renders. And if you ever see, like, you know, what's this, just increase the anti-aliasing and you'll be good. And that's really it. I plan on uploading more videos. I'll show you if I can exit out of this. Alright, I'll show you what I've been doing. I know, I have really interesting file names. I mean, stuff like this. I mean, hold on, let me. Oh, another thing. If you ever have this problem where, like, what the hell is this? Because you're so far out. You go to View, Camera Settings, or no, Camera Attribute Editor, and you want to change. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Change this to 1. All problems have gone away. Because the thing is, if you do anything below 1, especially when you're doing like really nice renders like this, as soon as you get far away, this happens, and that's terrible because it just looks bad. I mean, no one wants to look at that. I mean, it's not going to show up in a render, but still, like, no one should have to, like, oh, what is that? Like, no, just go to your camera attributes, make that a 1, and you're fine. And I mean, let's increase some of these things. Anti-lacing. Well, let me get rid of the grid. I mean, this is what I do for fun. I mean, I'm planning on adding a couple videos. I mean, if you really wanted me to do a tutorial on this, I'll do a tutorial. What the hell, I don't really care. But I mean, like I was telling you, it's all about these extrudes, and yeah. And that was basically it for the tutorial. I'm done wasting your time. If you stuck around, you learned a lot of things in a decent amount of time. Sorry if it was long, but other than that, later.